Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus on board the Pride of Olympus. And now at Star Center Olympus, we are meeting with the United Federation of Planets. And I don't know if the Pridelandian Empire is part of the Federation or in the process of becoming part of the Federation, but we'll be meeting with them as well, and we'll be interacting with them as well. I am Hercules Invictus, and now we go to Michael Stein, commander of the USS Justice. Greetings, Michael.
Thank you. I'm the CEO of the USS Justice. I've been CO since, I believe, May 2010.
Wow.
And, yeah, so we have quite an active chapter, covered northern New Jersey. I'm also an organizer for the Northern Star Trek meetup group as well. We run that to get people interested, whoever's interested in Star Trek, and it's a good way to introduce them to our ship and our chapter and into Starfleet. We've gotten a lot of new people that way. Worked out pretty well.
Well, I look forward to interacting with you on that level as well. And as the pandemic passes slowly, we'll be getting more and more involved in northern New Jersey and other Region 7 areas and activities.
Thank you.
And today we have two focus-ons. The first, focus on Maria Dutilly, who is aboard the USS Stella Pirata, and she will tell us of her journey to that vessel.
All right. Hey, as mentioned, my name is Maria. Nice to meet you. I'm from Pittsburgh. Got the terrible towel right there, represent. And we are the most western chapter of Region 7. We are Border Patrol. We're about 40 miles away from Region 1 space over in Ohio. So, or as we like to call it, Romulan space, because it's Ohio. Yes. But yeah, so my journey, I first started in Starfleet International about 10 years ago, and I was part of the Inferno, which was the old Pittsburgh chapter. And about 2 years ago, we rebranded ourselves as Stella Pirata because I wanted the chapter to represent part of like the community that we're in. We're in Pittsburgh. Well, who's our baseball team? The Pittsburgh Pirates. And who doesn't want to be a pirate? Come on. Who doesn't want to be a pirate? So we're the Starfleet Pirates. We are one of 4 pirate ships in Starfleet International. So it's not too many of us. So, and we do a lot of different activities, charity events. We raised just a couple weeks ago at the Three Rivers Con right here in Pittsburgh. We raised $75 for Extra Life. So we're really proud of that. Yeah, we're really proud of that. Extra Life is a charity. For people who don't know, Extra Life is a charity where they hook up kids who are in the hospitals with gaming systems. So when they're getting treatment, they got something to do, board games, video games, to be able to pass the time while they get treatment. So
that is indeed very noble and much needed.
Yes.
If you let us know what charitable events you're doing, I'll be glad to help promote them.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Yes.
And we'll share them on the show. So anytime you have an announcement about anything that the Stella Pirata is doing, if you send it, whether you're able to attend or not, we'll announce it on the show.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
And what are your dreams for the future of the Stella Pirata? And
the dreams of the future. Well, we continue to grow. We're over 40 members. We're growing rapidly. We're at like 41 now. So like, we're really proud of that, considering just a couple years ago, we went through some troubled times, but now we're on the other end of it. So we're really proud of that. And our future is to continue to grow, continue to help out where we can in our community and have fun. Like we are the host of the Western Regional Summit, and like that we brought people together from Ohio, Maryland, all around here in the Pennsylvania area to like get together, have fun, run some panels, and just celebrate being part of Starfleet International Region 7. So that's what we're about. We're a very inclusive bunch of people, and we just love to hang out with people, and have fun. That's our goal. Have fun.
And that's a noble goal. How has the pandemic affected your club?
The pandemic, actually, we adapted very well. The Stella Pirata, when things like first, when everything happened like March of 2020, we were originally going to see A Quiet Place Part 2 at the movie theaters. Okay, well, everything shut down. So me being a social worker, I was like, how can I don't want to cancel an event. So how can I adapt to this new reality that everybody's been thrown into? Well, instead of canceling the event, I was like, well, why don't we watch a movie online? And then it evolved. It was like, well, why don't I invite everybody else in Region 7 to like watch a movie online? Unbeknownst to me, I was thinking this event, hey, it maybe a couple months, and then we'll just everything will get back to normal. I ended up running the online movie thing, and as Mike Stein knows, for an entire year.
Yeah.
Every week, a movie. And then near the end, it started to go like every other week to every 3 weeks. So how the pandemic impacted the Stella Pirata is we became hybrid. We're still hybrid. We still have our meetings online. We have like some gaming events that are online. So for us, it was a benefit. We adapted well, and we just rolled with the punches. As I tell my crew, we're going to roll with the punches, and we have, and we've thrived, so adapt.
That's a good thing to know, and I look forward to learning from you as we establish the Pride of Olympus here in northern New Jersey. Does anybody have any questions to ask? They'd like to ask Marie, David. I mean, Michael. I'm sorry. You look wise, like David.
Yeah. Do you encourage your Zoom meetings, or do you encourage people to show up in person, or does it matter to you?
We do it. The way the geography is in Pittsburgh is that we're so spread out in Pittsburgh that it makes more sense for us to have it on Zoom, because we're like some people are in the far western part of Pittsburgh, some people are in the far eastern, some people are just north of Pittsburgh, some are just south. So we're so spread out. I get better interactions for meetings on Zoom, and it works for us. We're able to just we just adapted, and we're just able to have the meetings are just more productive for us to have it just on Zoom, and then that way I get more attendance than if it wasn't.
You get more attendance now on Zoom than pre-COVID when you were in person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It just works better for us. So
I'm trying to get everybody to meet in person, and it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's like herding cats.
I just want to try it on Zoom. Like it's free. I mean, like for me, it's like some people in my chapter, they're, of limited financial means, so like going to a Panera is like, well, yeah, it's a $12 meal, but if you're on limited financial means, that's like a $20-$30 meal, so if I like having it on Zoom, it helps with financial costs and, all that stuff. So that's just what works for my ship is on Zoom. So every ship is different. So. But we do, as you see, Michael, we do a lot of things in person too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Your Western Summit was really good.
Yeah, thank you. We put a lot of work onto that, and on to next year. It's getting bigger and bigger, and that's why I'm so super proud of it. And it really was just a random idea of mine. I was like, well, what can we do? And then I went to the meeting with not a meeting, but like the commissioning of the Katherine Johnson. And then they're like, oh yeah, we'll come up and celebrate like your 1-year anniversary of being the Stella Pirata. And then I got to thinking, well, if some people are willing to come up, why can't we have a little bit something more than just like celebrating the Stella Pirata's 1-year anniversary? And then it just snowballed. And now it's snowballed into something super positive. And that's what makes me the proudest. It snowballed into something super positive. And people are getting together. So that's awesome.
That's good.
Good.
Do you think, Michael, you'll be moving to more Zoom?
Well,
try out more Zoom?
We did that. We were doing that during COVID. So I'm trying to move the other way, and it's a struggle. I'm trying to get people to meet in person. We're getting our library back month-to-month basis with mask requirement, and we used to meet on Sundays, and the library is closed now on Sunday, so that's restrictive. But we are having a meetup one or two months ago, we did have a very good turnout. Last month wasn't too good, and our in-person ship meetings is not too good. I'm trying to really get back to focus of what we were pre-COVID, and it's like I said, it's a struggle to do that, and I'm trying to think of ways. If I do both as you're doing, I'll have less people in person, and my goal is to get people in person, not to be just opening up a laptop and why drive to a meeting when they can just open up a laptop. And that's what I want to get away from. I want to get in people's faces, and I'm sure people like that.
I want to get in your face.
I want to get in your face in person. You know?
So would that not be functional for your group then, to like have a hybrid, like we do for the Western Regional Summit, where it's hybrid, both in person and online?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I do that, I'll have less people showing up in person.
Okay.
That's the killer of it. I mean, I've had that suggestion from Region 7 Command. This is, why don't I just do a hybrid? Well, that's fine. Then I'm not going to reach my goal of getting more people in attendance.
One thing that we did like back in the Inferno days to increase attendance when we were in person is what we did on the Inferno is we would have an activity afterwards. So that always encouraged people, like go bowling or go to a movie, whatever, because each group is different, you know, like I don't know what your jam is on the Justice, but like, but that helped us out, like on the Inferno days, like to get people to come is like, oh, there's an activity afterwards.
Yeah, we were doing something like that. We usually go like to dinner or have a game, or play a game or something, or show something. We were doing something along those lines previously as well. We thought of that as well, doing something along those lines. Maybe we'll have to stress that some more, I think. I don't know. I've discussed that with my Region 7 commands, my ship command staff, and see what they think, and see what else we can do to increase attendance in person, which is really what I want to do. So that's sort of my goal there. It's sort of been kind of difficult running an in-person meeting and run a Zoom meeting at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's
it just proved like a little bit of stressor, because when I was running the Western Regional Summit back in September, like switching, because you have to interact differently on Zoom than to in person. Like, so like to be in the hostess, I was juggling the whole entire day. You know, I want to make sure I engage my online audience and also engage my in-person audience. So I was like,
I don't want to be a juggler. I'm sorry.
When I doing the games, because you're I think the nearest starship to me, Michael, and out in northwestern New Jersey, we have a good relationship with Level 1 Games in Punton Lakes. So at their store, we're going to have a role-playing game once everything's up and running, and again the pandemic recedes. So we can coordinate something where maybe have a meeting on the same day, and a certain number of people, and it has to be limited, because this would be a table in a gaming store, can participate in the role-playing game ahead of time. So we could coordinate something like that, and that would encourage people to come.
Maybe we could do a joint event or something too. It's possible.
Yes. So I'd definitely be interested in working with you on that.
Okay. Something you're thinking about next year, I guess so. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, because the winter's rough, and according to projections, we're going to have a very rough winter. And then we're having shortages of all sorts. So basically, I'm anticipating that if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen near the spring. So if it happens sooner, that's fantastic. But I'm just planning things for the spring in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the interim, we have Zoom like we have now, so we'll do something like this. And anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Thank you. That was a lot of information you shared with us. It's very, very helpful. Do you have any last words to tell us about yourself or the Stella Pirata?
Last words is, we always do online gaming like every other Friday, and it's on Jackbox. So if you're interested in online gaming with us, you know, like everybody is always welcome. We're very, like I said earlier, we're very inclusive. We welcome everybody. We do the online gaming, and we're going to continue to do like some charity events, like probably next year, because the winter months, it's just going to get tough to be able to do in-person stuff. And we continue to also do with our fellow Western regional chapters, the Solstice and the Venture. We participate in their bar nights. That's just basically getting together, just chit-chatting on Zoom. So we do a lot of stuff, you know, with our fellow Western PA chapters and everybody else in Region 7. So come hang out with us.
And you're going to be doing, you're still going to be a guest and occasionally co-host Bob's Spaced Out.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. We are going to be filming on this Friday, the Pet Fleet show. I am really looking forward to that. Yes. So we are getting on that.
Yes, that is fantastic. And please share a link and I'll gladly share that. And if I can budget in time, I'll gladly participate that in well. And I extend an invitation. If any of your folks want to be Olympians on an Olympian vessel, we have the Pride of Olympus and I welcome them. Later on, again, I'm going to start with Michael in terms of the interactions, and then that'll be extended to other regions as we work things out. So thank you. And your input for the rest of the show is very welcome. So hang out.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do.
And now Thomas Punton and his journey to the Pridelandian Empire.
So it goes back. So Simbaka Rafikin was a character I've been role-playing as in the chat rooms for many years. It started way back in 1996, the really early days of the internet. My inspiration of Simbaka Rafikin came from two sources. Well, one of them is kind of obvious, but I also grew up with Star Trek the Animated Series, and if you remember, sometimes in her spot was what was called a Fursion, a female cat-like race, and that was kind of my other side of the inspiration of it. So I created Simbaka Rafikin of the Pridelandian Empire, and I role-played on the site called Net Central, and eventually it went down, and eventually we migrated over to a site called the Web Chat Broadcasting System. And there was a chat room called Star Trek Nexus Bar, which was basically characters from the Star Trek universe all role playing together and all that. And that's where I also got to meet a lot of my friends that I've known over the years. And basically, the Pridelandian Empire is a one-world kingdom that is located in the neutral zone. The ancestors, what their race is called animaloids, which basically, well, I know the typical term would be furries, but basically there's a race of animal-like races of any types. They initially came from Earth just before the Eugenic Wars, when a corporation on Manhattan tried to play Isle of Dr. Monroe, and the Animaloids started to do a rebellion, and they still borrowed some sleeper ships. They found this planet, and the kingdom flourished from there. And so basically, Simbaka Rafikin, who's, well, the story kind of works kind of like the Lion King in the sense that his father was murdered by an uncle, and with the help of the Federation, got his kingdom back. And of course, has branched out and been diplomatic to other places. Their biggest ally is actually the Klingons, because they're almost right next door. They're not part of the Federation. They've done some trade agreements because of that past with Earth and all that. There's been some shadiness that's happened in the background with them, so to speak. But a lot of days, we have gone still together. We actually have a Facebook group called the Nexians, in a sense, where we kind of relive old memories and talk about it, as well as we have a Discord server as well. I do sometimes do role play still on Star Trek Online. It's something how far we came from a simple site to actually interaction. And then if you ever played this, it's really good. It's basically Star Trek World of Warcraft. Okay. And it's been running for about 11 years now. Mm-hmm. And I actually even streamed this on Twitch as my persona is Cynthia. But they've had a lot of the cast and crew reprise their roles for it and all that. And that's where I've been working on for the most part, which now I'm almost tempted to actually commandeer Cynthia's Twitch channel. Simbaka, actually, now that I come to think about it. But that's been what I've been doing about mostly. It's been just role playing, doing interesting stories and all that. And then of course, then I've also been invited to do role play with actually Hercules and all that to make him reach out, and also for the role play that he's been wanting to do with trying to find Apollo, which I'm certain of Simbaka would jump to that because he has had a love for Greek mythology just as much as I have.
Are you set in, and I forgot to ask Maria this question, so I'll ask her in a second, but are you set in the Next Generation timeline or in the original series timeline? Like Michael and his folks are set in the original series, Bob and his folks are set in the Next Generation, Anne Marie is set in the Next Generation. Where are you set?
In Next Generation.
Next Generation, okay.
Save some time travel here and there, but yes, Next Generation.
Okay,
Maria,
I'm the oddball. I'm the oddball. Picard era. Picard.
All right, Next Generation.
Yeah, no, the Picard of the new TV
The,
show.
the TV series, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I jumped ahead in the timeline.
Good, good, good. Okay, I
Yeah.
have to find stuff to read to put to me to your timeline. For the old timeline, the original series, there's the Who Mourns for Adonis. The sequel to that on Star Trek continues. The novelization expanded it. John Byrne expanded it, and the Hand of Apollo appeared in Star Trek Beyond. If you blinked, you missed it in the credits. So it's in that universe as well.
The Green Hand, yep.
Yes.
I think also Bones, he made mention of it in the movie too, when he mentioned with the ship that they found. He said that one of the possibilities that could have been grabbed up by a big green hand.
Yes, yes. So they were going there, but they never went there, not even in the comic book series that continued. And then in the Next Generation, Peter David wrote 2 books, Being Human and the Gods Above, for his New Frontier series that dealt with the Olympians. Yeah, again, he expanded them. So I have to look to see what in the Picard era has been written, if anything, about the Olympians. That'll give me a start. If not, I'll just make something up, and that's what we're doing during Picard time. Q's in it, so that might be a good enough reason to be there.
I'm a huge Q fan.
See now, and what's nice about Star Trek Online is you can also play as a version, which is a nice nod to the animated series. So of course I was able to create Simbaka on there just as much, although Star Trek Online, it takes place a little bit after like the 2500s as well, but they do bounce around the series. They've done even missions with Discovery and all that. So, once again, really good, recommended. And it's free to play, by the way.
I got to check those out. Yeah, if you could send me the link, I'll share it and I'll check it out.
Okay, I will.
And again, time travel is part of some of the other things I do. So I'll incorporate time travel in there. This way we can go back and forth and don't need to wait. Now, Thomas, you played in a online role-playing game I did on Facebook a few years ago. Did you enjoy that?
I did. I did greatly. Yeah, we did the time travel and we altered history and had to deal with the present day, which what was, I think it was kind of changed to kind of like that of Atlantis, wasn't it? Something like that.
It's been a while. We started out with the Argonaut expedition, and we did all sorts of things and dealt with gods and giants and Atlantis. And okay, I can start that within a couple of weeks. So I open that to anybody who wants to play. I don't have a lot of gaming experience. My gaming experience is more from the old times before PlayStation 1. And
okay, so Pac-Man.
When they were played by email. Yeah, I was in high school when Pong came out. It was toward the end of high school. So all this is kind of like beyond me. But I also got involved in, when we were Klingons years ago, we had our own play by email game that ran for years, so I based the Facebook game kind of like on a play by email game that some people are allowed in the group. I post a few pictures and write some descriptions, and everybody has a week to respond. And then as the DM, I take all that together and I, rewrite the situation. And then we kept going, and we kept it going for quite a while. I believe it was over a year. It kept going. So I could do something like that. That's within my technical capabilities to pull off in a short period of time. And we can have a story going there, and I'll open it to anybody who wants to participate. We'll have to limit it to like a dozen people, but we could do that just to start. And then when I resume in the library, when they lift the restriction, I can do things in the library. I'm the president of the Friends of the Library locally. But they're not allowing more than 10 people in the whole auditorium at one time. So that makes things very difficult. So I'm going to be sticking with other venues until I can get bigger crowds of people. And then we'll be having our meeting there. And then Starfleet groups that are near to us and other science fiction groups, we can bring them in as guests and speakers, and we could have events at the library or nearby eateries. So that's also on the back burner as things unfold. But Tom, you're the only one who's far away too. You're on the other side of the country. We're all in the northeastern United States. You're in the northwest, right?
I'm in North Dakota, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you're all the way out there.
I'm
Wow.
all the way out there, yeah.
What region is that? What region are you
Well,
in?
I have
Tom?
no idea what region in Starfleet he's in.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking.
I would say north. Yeah, now I'm actually, ironically, the Simbaka being alliance with the Klingons, I am part of the Klingon Defense Force. They have a Discord server, which is something I was going to bring up as well. And I joined with their Klingon group, which they have, it's like up in the upper Midwest area.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Klingons because I'm also part of CAG, and like I'm
Oh,
part
really?
of I'm part of CAG, and I have a lot of fun with the Klingons because I cosplay as Andorian and a Sharon. Yeah, I am the last living Sharon. I put
Awesome.
myself up and everything.
I remember
no,
the start of CAG. I remember when CAG started. That's how long ago we were doing the Klingon.
Wow.
I believe it was John Kokura. He's the one who started CAG, the Klingon Assault Group, or
I don't know.
the Klingon Defense Group. Yeah, I remember when these ideas were floating around. There was a Klingon embassy. There were a couple of things. Then all of a sudden, CAG and the KFS and all these other things started popping up, and a lot of them evaporated, and some of them are still around. So
but
there's a CAG ship right in Western PA. The Black Plague. What a wonderful name to have.
As a matter of fact, some of the Klingon even stream on Twitch.
Right.
But yeah, I've joined with them and all that. I talk to them every once in a while and all that. And as a matter of fact, one of them, because there used to be a group in Fargo, North Dakota, but they kind of disbanded a little bit. But one of them that lives over in Minnesota said, "Do you know this one woman?" And I messaged her and said, "Yeah, I do." And she said, "Did you know this one guy in Minnesota?" I said, "Yeah, I remember him. We sparred with our batlets every now and then." So
right.
It's almost been kind of like art reflecting life in a sense that I got to be, part of them. And there's also one of our Discord servers that I'm at with, she streams on Twitch as well. And now I'm having a brain fart of it. But she is a Klingon singer. She will sing popular songs in Klingon.
Oh yeah. I've heard of her. She's very popular.
Yeah, and she streams on Twitch too. And so, yeah. And that was something I was almost suggesting as well, maybe on Facebook, but also maybe creating a Discord server that we could role play on as well, because you can make channels on there and you can also video conference like Zoom as well on Discord.
Yeah.
So that might be something to consider as well.
I will look into that. You've opened my eyes technologically. You're the first person who interviewed me on YouTube, actually, I believe. Yes. Like 8 years ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. Everybody's doing phenomenal things, and everybody, because of the internet, has access to each other regardless of how far away. And later on, we can bring Klingons and Andorians and all sorts of other people. And you're the last one of your kind.
The Sharon, yeah, Belle didn't get me.
So there we go. I can see great stories arising.
Yeah.
And I'm a fossil. I'm from a bygone era of Star Trek fandom. And back then, I brought this up in the last episode. One of the things we did, again, internet was just beginning to come into the picture. But we used to write stories back then. And it was a lot like role playing. Like you'd have a situation, and then everybody write a story that they'd make it up, or they'd role play it, or they did something, and then they'd send the chapters back. And the moderator or the game master was kind of like an editor, so they would take all the stuff back, allow some of it, disallow some of it, and then you get like a few chapters. And then when the situation resolved itself, you'd have like a fanzine book of like the entire adventure. And those were a lot of fun to do. They were time consuming, But that's something, I don't know if fanzines even exist anymore. Those thick fanzines that you can get at conventions, and they ranged from slash fiction to regular fiction, sometimes using characters from shows, sometimes combining universes. Like you'd have the Enterprise traveling back in time to the Xenoverse and interacting with Xena, and but they're very wide variety, and
Mm.
we published quite a lot.
There's the one that Thomas has about the Transformers and Star
Yeah.
Trek. Those are the crossovers that they do now.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done. I think they've also done another one with Planet of the Apes as well.
Planet of the
Yeah.
Apes. That was my very first crossover I ever read. Quick story. I was in the comic books and I was just like looking at the Star Trek things, and I'm just like, Planet of the Apes and Star Trek. I gotta read this. And then I was like, this is just too comical. And I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, this was really good. It was a lot of fun to have the crossovers. I really like them.
Have you seen the one with the Green Lantern in Star Trek?
Yes, I saw
think
that
I've
one
heard
too.
of that one.
That was amazing.
The first
Yes,
draft
that was
is all
good.
I had.
And of course the X-Men did crossovers with both
Yeah.
original series and Next Generation.
Right. And then Doctor Who did a crossover too as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, Lee Carter did a review on that one, and I thought it was really
Yeah.
good. But this
So-
is I
Go ahead,
recommended
Tom.
this. But yeah, because as you see, it's done a cell of the animated series for the Star Trek characters, and like the Autobots meet up with Kirk and the crew, and the Klingons meet up with the Decepticons, all their respective styles. So
They're doing a new series, aren't they? A new animated series with the original taking place in the original time as well, I heard.
Prodigy, yeah,
Prodigy? Is that the original
with-
timeline?
I
No,
believe
I know-
that's a Voyager timeline, isn't it?
I know it's Janeway's in it. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Janeway,
watched it.
where she's a hologram of some sort, and it's kind of
Right.
like in a Star Wars, Clone Wars type animation.
Mhm.
And Deck Below just got a second season, and Picard got a second season, and Discovery
they just-
got a third or fourth season. I forget where they
Yeah,
are.
they just finished up with Lower Decks on a really interesting cliffhanger. The one episode, the second season of Lower Decks, I got a kick out of is where they prank called the tar creature that killed Tasha Yar. Basically Mariner had this stone that allowed you to telepathically send your voice to anywhere in the galaxy. So in a sense, they prank called it. You see the goo creature sitting there all by himself. They say, "Hey Mariner, we see you. What was that? What is that? I'm the Olympian. Don't forget to trip over yourself." They're all laughing it up, and it's like, yeah, serves you right.
That was like the first Star Trek episode to make me cry when Tasha Yar died.
Yeah.
I
That was sad.
got to tell Miss Crosby that too, and she was like, "Oh," because I was just old enough, and I was like, "Oh," So I like that character, Tasha Yar. So.
But yeah, I mean, Lower Decks kind of grew on me, but the fact that
Yeah.
they make all these nice nods and references here and there, and recently they got more, the cast coming back on some episodes, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, Michael, that's not your cup of tea, right? The Lower Decks.
Well, I gave up on, you know what, on when Discovery comes back, I may watch that after, I might watch Lower Decks after Discovery comes back, since I'm there watching an hour of this, and I'll give it a try, because this season I skipped. I sort of, after the last one, I couldn't really follow the dialogue.
Not your jam.
It's not my, I had a problem with the universal translator. It was going too slow for me, my understanding. So no matter what I did, I couldn't slow it down enough for me to comprehend.
We weren't getting the proper frequency.
No.
So what, the dialogue is too fast for you, or?
Oh yeah, it's a little bit speedy, and it takes a while.
Okay, gotcha.
It took a while for me to, like, when I first was watching it. It took a while for me to catch on. Oh my God!
Right.
It's like, I said, could you slow down a little bit, or be like the
Right.
animated series, the worst one, and they're going zoom across. They're going to warp 9.
Yeah, that's that kind of that animation style, that like sped up you know.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting, when I first saw it, I was expecting the original animation, the original Star Trek.
Oh, okay,
That's what I was
gotcha.
expecting. I was said, oh, this is going to be like a next gen or something like that animation. And oh, no. They totally redid it. I got a bunch of kids and sitting at the bridge here, or acting like kids, in a dull role. So really,
well, Riker did show up in a few episodes, so
yeah, but
Q showed up too. I like Q.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a huge Q fan, but my only problem with that episode is they hyped it up so much, and I
And he
was so
barely-
super excited, but he was only in it for like a little bit. I wanted more,
So-
and so I
so
was a
you-
little disappointed.
So you're like one of the other characters that I role played in our Star Trek chat rooms. So I created a Q-like character that basically he did a project for the Continuum. His name was Highlight, but he did a
Okay.
project for Continuum that basically he wanted to study humans and see what their greatest desires are.
Yeah.
So think of it from human history, what he would have been. The genie from Aladdin. He was a Q. Well, basically, so basically, the Q that we know of stepped in and said that Highlight was being too soft on him, and then his project got and Highlights got canceled and all that. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Cool.
I think the image, and of course the image I used to represent him was that of Robin Williams, of course, but
Mhm.
Now, I know Q was in the lower decks and Q is in Picard, obeyed for a little bit. And I just learned that now. I'm very disappointed. I was looking forward to lots of Q because they said that
Yeah,
he was gonna be
it's near the very
very
end.
confusing.
Yeah, it's in the very end of Lower Decks on that episode where he's just in it for the last few minutes and he just has an interaction with Mariner, but for Picard, it's going to be amazing.
I think it's
Q and Picard. They're acting with Patrick Stewart and John D. Lancey it's going to be awesome.
because the two of
And,
them haven't seen
it's going to be a big interaction because Patrick Stewart apparently Picard is at a big time crisis and like in a fork in the road, and he's at a big crisis, and then Q shows up, so it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And the two of them haven't seen each other since the end of Next Generation, so it's been a while.
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he had him in Next Generation in the last episode. He was kind of like time jumping, and his consciousness was in the
Right.
past and the present and the future. He needed to see things from all those sides to solve the dilemma.
Right.
I dug out all my Q books and I'm rereading them because I'm looking forward to him being on Picard. So I just want to
Right.
refresh my memory. And I had gotten the Q collected DVD set that had all the episodes.
Oh, I have that too. Yep.
I'm going to be watching those as well.
And there's also a novel called, I think it's called Q Squared, that basically in that book implied that Trelane is a Q as well.
Right. Yeah. I think Trelane is a Q.
That's been out there a long
a
time.
young juvenile Q.
Yeah, that's been out there
Yeah.
a long time. We
Yeah.
talked about that. Didn't we talk about that last week or last time, I believe? on
Yeah,
the
we
show?
touched upon it a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
if
interesting.
you
In the
and then if
current,
you
in the current episode of this, there's a story about where Q meets Kirk, like Kirk or so too as well. It's like,
Oh,
wow,
nice.
it's called All That Most Maddens and Torments. So I'm anxious to read this later on. I want to read this
Nice.
article about Q meeting with Captain Kirk and see how well that goes.
They have
Yes.
that in the comic, and I have a couple of graphic novels where one of them Q gets all the people from all the different Star Trek shows and mixes them up and
Yeah.
sets them off on a quest. I haven't finished that one yet. And then there was another one where he's in the Kelvin universe with the Kelvin crew, and that one I don't have.
Mhm.
So that's on my list of things to locate
Right.
at some point.
now, and then when they did the 25th anniversary edition, they had made a game called Star Trek 25th Anniversary Edition. It's point and click adventure. The original cast reprised the roles for it. It did so well, they did a sequel called Star Trek Judgment Rights. And in the second mission, you're supposed to go to this one area of space where this Federation ship went missing. And all of a sudden, a World War I biplane comes flying in, and piloting it is Trelane. And the guy's reprising his role on that.
Oh,
And
that
so
was
basically,
great.
and then basically you end up in Germany, which was supposedly during World War I and all that. And so basically you basically find out that that Trelane had did all this while the parents were away. Well, at the end of it, you can basically trick them. We're in a way that's basically the nanny shows up. And Kirk says, I am so sorry. I turned my back and Trelane just ran away. And of course, Trelane's like, I could have won. And said, don't worry, Kirk. I will take Trelane somewhere else so he doesn't bother anyone.
Yeah.
If you can't play it, there is on YouTube, there is a playthrough of Star Trek Judgment Rights. And you can find the mission playthrough on that.
Oh, that is awesome. I have to add that to my list now too. Again, like I said, I'm a really big Q fan, and Q
Right.
race. I'm Greek, and Greeks. I don't know if you guys know any Greek people. Greek people have statues all over the place. Every surface has ancient Greek statues or things like that. So I have one shelf that has not ancient Greek statues, but it has Q. And I'm looking at it
Oh,
right now.
nice.
It has a Vorlon and it has an engineer from Prometheus, because it's a kind of
Nice.
reminder to me that the divine, whatever it might be, is maybe beyond our comprehension. And just to keep that in mind,
Right.
wending my way through life, it might be
Right.
it might be, yes.
And I have every single Q figure that Playmates has ever made. So like I am a huge Q fan. I even named my kitty cat Q. So.
Aw. Of course, I have my Greek statues too, but my beloved
Nice.
Athena.
Yeah, you're very attuned to Athena, and we need to have an update on that on another show.
Mhm.
How many figures did they make of Q? I
Oh,
just
they
have
have a make of Q. Oh shoot! Like they've just came out with another Mego figure, which I have, and he's in his judgment robe.
I have
So-
that. That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have. Oh, they probably had around 20. Like they have like the little miniature Q. Like, and they're gonna be coming out with more because Q is just a popular character, So I say about 20. That seems about right because I'm looking at my collection right now. So yeah, it's a fair amount.
Wow, I was aware of the little one they had. I had that years ago. When they were making little figures.
Right, the
and-
micro, and then they have like the Playmates, like 7.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And
and-
some other show, I'll display my Q collection.
that
Yeah,
would be fantastic. We'd have a Q show.
We
One
have a
thing
Q show.
with Q and QAnon, I've always thought, in some other universe that might be Q messing with us.
Right. That would be
Especially when we all
funny.
started wearing the T-shirts with Q and having the Q flags and
Right.
stories.
Yeah, and I have a Q shirt saying WWQD. What would Q do? I'm a huge Q fan. We'll have a Q show. That would be great.
I'm looking forward to that. And
Well, one more thing you'll get a kick out of. There was a meme
Sure.
that someone did where they had Thanos, saying that, I'm going to break down your federation as I agree the Federation gone, and poof, he's gone. And Q says, I'm sorry, I could not let him babble any other. It doesn't take 32 movies to make a simple parlor trick.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask. It has nothing to do with Star Trek, but my wife and I saw Eternals yesterday, and
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, okay.
Either.
I haven't seen it, so I won't spoil it for you. But my wife didn't know anything about the Eternals. She's a comic book fan too, but she knew nothing about the Eternals. And I've been an Eternals fan since Jack Kirby came up with them, eons ago. We both like the movie, and I guess when everybody's seen it, I'm going to do an Eternals
All right,
special.
cool.
We have Q, we have the Eternals. Anybody think of anything else we could do a show on?
I do have a mutant character in the Marvel universe too that would be eager on that.
Okay.
Mhm.
In the role play, I'm doing crossovers into other universes, and on Facebook now, in addition to the Star Trek community, which you're all in, I'm starting one with the Eternals, with Doctor Who, and with Marvel comics, just to explore the Greek mythological themes in them. So if anybody wants to play, I'll gladly invite you. Just let me know.
Okay.
And
Love that.
I will have the game, and the game is going to be time traveling and also universe hopping. So we'll allow for that in the game. And if you're interested, or if anybody on your ships is interested, let me know. And in terms of the future of this show, I discussed last time, but two of you are new. So Michael, bear with me again. At the end of each show, anything you have to promote, just feel free to share it. And if you can't be on a particular show for whatever reason, but you have something to promote, just to PM it or email it to me, and I'll
Okay.
announce it on the show. And this way, we help spread that information, because
Mhm.
I know I miss my days of fandom, and I'm looking forward to getting involved again to a greater degree than I am now. And we still have a couple of people who are going to be on the show who haven't been able to come on yet. So just like today, we traveled to the Stella Pirata territory to meet with Maria, and I'm glad that we did. In addition to our regularly scheduled monthly show, we'll be traveling around to accommodate people's schedules. So we'll be doing that. And I plan on keeping this show mostly like 80% Star Trek focused.
Mhm.
It started spaced out, Star Trek focused. Now it's doing a lot of different fandoms. It's doing James Bond next. So I don't want to stifle anybody's creative dream with our podcasts and with our Zoom shows. So I am letting Bob, go in whatever direction he wants, and that's going to happen with some of the other podcasts too. So I like to have something that's almost exclusively Trek. So that's what this is going to
Okay.
be. And I'm always open to suggestions and ideas. So if you guys have any ideas, I'd be glad to hear them and incorporate them.
Well, I like the Q show. That'd be great.
I like that too. So we're definitely going to do the Q show. And aside from the Zoom and the sharing information and the game type of thing, currently on Play by Facebook and then later on in person, and incorporating the Play on Facebook. And then as I check out other the types of sites that you guys have described to me, so I could learn how they work, eventually put it there. As well, and so we have a way of continuously interacting. I will ask now if Maria, do you want to be my envoy, the Federation envoy to the Olympians?
Sure, why not?
You're awesome. And Simbaka, you've already agreed. We last time we tried to do this. And Michael, would you care to be the USS Justice's envoy to the Olympian Arcanate?
Definitely.
Okay, awesome. And so we have the thing to do. One of the events we had in 2016 here, I live in Tenafly, New Jersey, and Bob was there and Wayne was there and a couple of other people from Starfleet Region 7 was there, was Mythic Atlantis. And we were planning a second one, but it never came together. But people still stop and ask me on the street, when do you bring back Atlantis? So, I have to bring back Atlantis. And we were going to have a babble at the next Atlantis. And the story then was going to be what happened to Apollo and who's responsible for it. So we were going to have like a murder mystery dinner type of thing and play this thing out and kind of.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still
Interesting.
planning on doing something like that. So that's on the table as well. But given the pandemic still needs another year or so, if we go historically, this will be long term. But it is on the table, and I'm sure by then we'll come up with a million other ideas that we can also play with. Now, if all of you are trying to expand what it is that you're doing in fandom, so if folks are interested in a Pirate Federation ship, what would you tell them about the Stella Pirata? Who can join? Is it restricted in terms of near Romulan space, or can anybody join?
Oh, anybody can join the Stella Pirata. We like our age range. It goes from like I think my youngest member is like 5 years old to all the way up to like 70s or something. Like anybody can join. I mean, we have a lot of fun being pirates. We like to joke around. We're the border patrol for Region 7, since we're right next to Romulan space, better known as Ohio. So anybody can join. We do a lot of different wide variety of activities, both online and in person. And so come join. So
And,
be a
and are
pirate. Arg.
are there any
Arg.
activities coming up soon or events that people can look forward
We're
to?
just like on we're basically kind of concentrated on online right now because it's the colder winter months. But we are like doing gaming online and might like try and revisit the movies for the holiday season. Like to play movies like on Zoom. And but other than that, like, well, we do have Steel City Con coming up. That'll be in December. So we'll probably be at that show too as well. So if you want to come hang out over at Steel City Con, awesome. So we keep busy here and there, but we are slowing down just a little bit just because of the winter months.
And how can people contact you or your vessel?
You can contact us on the Stella Pirata Facebook page, stellapirata.com. And you could come join us there. We're on Facebook, or you can come email me over maria.15@gmail.com. You can as another way to get in contact with me if you don't do Facebook. Some people don't do Facebook, so
No,
you know,
some
always
people
trying
don't.
to try and have a non-Facebook connection. So yeah.
I'm so there. I had Facebook. I gathered like 25,000 people all together with my different groups and things like that.
Yeah.
And then Facebook told me somebody hacked me and
Oh.
everything evaporated. So I started again on Facebook, but I'm not putting all my eggs in the Facebook basket anymore.
Right.
So as I build in Facebook, I'm looking for other venues too that are more reliable and less likely to
Yeah.
collapse
Yeah,
on me.
I got hacked too, and I lost my page and I had to restart everything all over again.
Yeah, I got hacked too. How do we get it back? It's a pain. It definitely is. I know.
It is.
Like, yeah, no fun.
And people don't think you're you either, and so
Exactly.
some people
Yeah.
ignore you. Some people will say, "Is that really you? Tell me something only you would know." And Michael, envoy to Olympus, what is going on with the USS Justice in the months ahead? Anything new and exciting? And how can people contact you and the vessel?
We have a Facebook page, USS Justice page. Facebook, they can contact me, justiceoc@aol.com. Also, we're on a meetup site. Look for, just type in Justice, not Justice, Star Trek, on meetup.com, and you'll come to our page as well, because we're the only Star Trek meetup group in northern New Jersey. So that's another way of finding us. A lot of people do that. They come to us by accident or intentionally, as I put it. A sneaky way of getting lots and lots and lots of people. Yeah. We've got a couple of events coming up. I think we may have another fitness challenge event in November this month, hopefully. That's where we met at a gym, and we sort of took over the gym and watched an episode of Star Trek and exercised at the same time. So we're planning that again, hopefully in November. We have an event at the American Wall Museum in Secaucus. The aquarium is a large aquarium there, so we're planning an event at that. That's on the 13th. So that's next Saturday. So we have an away mission to that. We have a few members going to that. That should be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to different things. Let's see. Well, next year, hopefully we'll have shore leave in person.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Our
And,
point is going to be in person.
as far as I know, it is, yes. Isn't
Yeah.
it? I haven't received any emails
One of
about
the
it.
announcements too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen any vaccine mandates from Farpoint? I got one from about shore leave, but I haven't seen anything about that from Farpoint.
I haven't seen anything from Farpoint.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing. I know shore leave is. So, but anyway, hopefully we'll have a good time. We'll see what goes. And we're in for the same thing as you are, Maria, having fun. That's what we're about as well.
Yeah, having fun.
My
Yes.
first CEO used to have saying, if you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
That's
So-
right.
Obviously.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
And Thomas, how can people contact you in the Pridelandian Empire?
You can find me on Facebook. Look up Simbaka Rafikin. on there, and you can shoot out a message on me on there or post on the page. You want to start up a role play, and of course, if you have Star Trek Online, you can always role play. And I haven't done the recent missions on that one lately, so if you wanted to join do recent missions on there, fine, if else. We could just role play in Quark's Bar. That's where everyone hangs out a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I do stream on Twitch as Timthea, the Mistress of Time, twitch.tv/Timthea. I might be streaming tomorrow because tomorrow's my birthday. So I might be streaming.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday! Congratulations, you did another rotation around the sun.
Yes. So I might be streaming Animal Crossing tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, we can always reach out to me. And so you can always reach out to me at email of mistofepoch@outlook.com if you want to reach me by email. So
Awesome. If you guys can PM me this information, I'll make sure I post it in the group, and this way it's
All
there,
right, cool.
and we can just keep updating the information in the group.
Right.
And
great.
I have something else to share. First from Bob Vossler. Bob is going to be interviewing Jason Allentoff next Thursday, which is November 11th. And they're going to be talking about James Bond and My Time to Die, mostly. He says on December 4th, there is a Region 7 virtual conference. So that's coming up on December 4th. And then in February, he says the return of Farpoint is a live event. So those were his announcements from Region 7 and the USS Challenger. And I also have a background in the human services for many years, like 35 years. I worked in psychiatric hospitals, outpatient clinics, nonprofit organizations, all sorts of places. So when I had my TV show years ago, the Enchantress, or Barbara Becker Holstein, she's a women's empowerment psychologist who wrote The Enchanted Self and a bunch of other books. She and I did a lot of shows together, and we're doing a show now. So she started something called the Selfie Project, where people take selfies and different topics are talked about. So I wanted to do a selfie project on how popular culture inspires people and empowers people. I figured I'd start with Star Trek because that's empowered a lot of people over the decades of its existence, and it could be proven that it has created a better tomorrow. We have communicators like they had on the original series, more sophisticated now, and they're a thing of the past. Even we've gone beyond them with the cell phones. We have tricorders in our cell phones. We have replicator machines that can even replicate food now. So all those things were in the imagination of Roddenberry and the writers of Star Trek, and now they're part of our reality. And a lot of people who brought these things into being were inspired by Star Trek. And I know Star Trek helped give me a better future and better optimism about what's possible for humanity in the future, that we can grow out of where we're stuck, and we can move forward, and so forth, challenges together. So I was thinking of whoever's interested in doing like a Star Trek based selfie
most
project.
definitely.
I can coordinate that with Dr. Barbara Holstein, and she advertised it. Okay, great.
Yeah, because Star Trek was one of my influences to become a sociologist.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I wore a Star Trek T-shirt both for my undergrad and my graduation, just as my little way to give a shout out to Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, fantastic!
To thank him for with the influence.
I contacted the Gene Roddenberry Foundation recently, but they haven't gotten back to me because they're continuing his legacy by giving grants to people who are trying to change the world for the better. And you don't even have to be a non-for-profit organization, a 501c3. You could be an individual trying to do something, So I invited them to come on our podcast or our Zoom show. But again, I haven't heard from them yet. So,
right.
And is that something that's your cup of tea, Michael?
Possibly, yeah. Let me know.
I'm all about talking about sociology, so I'll be like,
yeah.
And Thomas?
I think I would still have to give it a try.
Okay, great. So that could be one of our joint projects that we work on together, and I'll pitch it to Bob, and then we'll open up to anybody in Region 7 and beyond who wants to participate. We'll set a schedule. We'll check out their sample videos in terms of what they're looking for, and then that'll be our first joint project together.
I like it.
I am done. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add to today's show? We have around 7 more minutes.
I just wanted to give an update of the web page. It is facebook.com/Starfleet Pirate. That is our I just wanted to make sure, like, for our Facebook page. I couldn't quite remember. It's Starfleet Pirate. Just put that in the search engine, you'll find the Stella Pirata page.
Do you guys dress with sashes, or do you add anything to the Starfleet uniform that makes you more pirate-like?
Oh yes. I've shown you our logo, and like that's the skull and crossbones. And when we were at the Renaissance Festival, I had the 3-corner hat, and I had my little the comm badge right on top of the hat.
I think I saw a picture of that. That's on your Facebook page.
Yeah, my Facebook. Yep.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Michael, anything you'd like to add before we wrap up for today?
Let's see. We have a ship meeting coming up November 20th. That's going to be in Morris County Library. So we are going to be meeting, hopefully have a good turnout, and hopefully for that, see how that goes. And also looking forward, like you mentioned, their Region 7 conference that's going to be virtual this time again. So I think it's just one day, a virtual conference. Let's see. There's also an event in the Meadowlands Exposition Center called a Dino Stroll. I don't know if anybody's heard of that or not. They got simulated dinosaurs at the Meadowlands
that'd be
Exposition
interesting.
Center. Yeah. So maybe a possible way mission to that. I don't know. Let's take a look at that further. This coming up on our agenda. So we'll see.
Sounds awesome.
I always want to add something before I almost forgot. In a couple weeks, the debut of Pet Fleet, the TV show.
Yeah.
With Bob Vossler and I.
And where are you showing it? You're showing it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube.
Oh, awesome.
You have special pets on there?
No, well, it was like for our very first episode, it's going to be me, Bob, and it's going to be Anne Marie. She's going to be talking about like her bird, because she has a bird. And I'm going to be debuting the kitty cat, Q. And then Bob has his 2 dogs and cats. So it's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a fun show.
Cats and dogs. Birds.
Yes. And birds. Oh my.
And for people who don't know
Cats,
about
dogs, and birds. Oh my.
And for people who don't know about Pet Fleet, can you explain that?
Pet Fleet basically is Star Trek fans who basically are pet owners, and they can sign up their pet to be part of Starfleet as well. My cat, Q, the omnipotent kitty cat that he is part of Pet Fleet. And it's just a way for Star Trek fans to get together who also are pet lovers, basically, so.
So you're able to print up a certificate for your pet, right? I believe, like a pet certificate. Are you able to print up a certificate with your pet's name on it?
I think I'm not 100% positive.
It used to be that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I have pets too. I have dogs and cats. So
Okay.
they're all potential members of Pet Fleet. And
There you
Thomas,
go.
you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Well, one other thing to do is I also do bead art. I have a store called Lionheart's Bead Art on Etsy that I sell all the bead art that I ever make. I haven't done any Federation or Star Trek ones. I really should get around to doing that because I've seen some good patterns of all that. But if you ever have a love for bead art, it's an ever-growing catalog, and I've sold some good ones on there too. I even streamed that on making those on Twitch too.
And again, send me the link, and I'll put it in the Star Trek group. And this way, every time you come on one of the podcasts, I'll repeat everybody's stuff that they're doing, and this way it'll be there and recent, and then I'll put it on my timeline too.
Certainly.
Okay, thank you all very much. You're awesome. I look forward to continuing our exploration and continuing our conversation. Until next time, to everybody, joyous journeys and amazing adventures. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Well, for now.
There you go.
Okay, bye-bye.
Here. Thank you. Bye-bye.